So in the few years ago, we reinstated the minimum wages.
Yeah.
All right, which I felt is still a little bit too low, but that's just me. It is. Thank you. All right. So what are the plans? How do you see that we can increase the wages in Malaysia and the standard of living? Because all the costs are going up.
I don't think we need to increase the standard of living, bro. We increase the minimum wage, bro. Increase the
minimum
minimum wage,
bro. Even not the standard of living. Like the standard of living is up, but the amount of cash the society is getting is not increasing, rather decreasing.
Yeah.
How can we catch up with our neighboring countries? When I was like 10, 15 years ago, USD was like 1 to 3, and then now I don't even.
Bro, don't you say you just see Singapore?
Yeah, bro. Started off 1 to 1.
We were 1 to 1. So these are just pretty important issues that. Sometimes that is all you need. That's the answer you need to know.
It's not even just the minimum wage, right? Like employers are proud to promote a 3,000 ringgit salary, expecting 3 years, 4 years, 5 years experience. They are proud to showcase that.
And this is why that's why if you ask me whether a change in government or personality will suddenly turbocharge Malaysia forward, a lot of Malaysians will be quite disappointed. The reality is you need to overhaul the way we do business in Putrajaya, the way how we structure our economy, and only then we can turbocharge Malaysia forward.
Hence the focus on policies.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Because I'll show one simple example. When I was part of cabinet, and I've said this on record, off record, and people know it to the point that I'm labelled almost as a socialist, which I am not. It's just that I believe that we need to have responsible capitalism. So I pushed for minimum wage to be increased, right? Back then it was only 900. After 1 year and a half, it became 1,200 ringgit. Yeah. Oh my god, this is a lot. 1,002. If you live on 1,002 in KL, you can survive with a family. Hats off, man, because the majority can't. Right? But to some, even at 300 ringgit, oh no, this is too much, you will overburden employers. I'm like, first numbers never lie, especially when it comes to data. Look at GDP per salary ratio. Right? By then you already know Malaysia has one of the lowest. That means while GDP growth is great, but salary increment is ridiculously slow in comparison even to countries like Singapore and even our regional peers. Yeah. The fact that even Jakarta could have a higher minimum wage than us says
Jakarta has a higher minimum
very
wage.
Very negative. Yep. Also, you have
that's
to convert
tragic,
it,
bro.
Right? So it's quite tragic. So in Malaysia, I think on this path we need to have clarity and moral courage to push it forward. And this is not just in government; it's in opposition as well. That's why in opposition, for example, when I've been pushing for a more progressive taxation system, and it's never popular to talk about tax.
Yeah.
But that's the reality you have to face. You want to run all these populist policies, well, the money come from? They will come from the trees, is it? So you have to come up with a public policy reform and a fair taxation model for it to work, right? So okay, fine, you don't want to have GSTs, white consumption tax, then you need to have a more progressive taxation policy. For example, Malaysia went through COVID. 1 million people lost their jobs, 500,000 SMEs went bust, 500,000 middle-class Malaysians moved into the B40 category. But while all of this is taking place, the top 50 richest families, not families, individuals, net wealth increased by 14%. 14% is in the billions of ringgit. Yep. This is only one of the 50 families. And some select companies had their revenue not just like quadrupled, but like 11 time increase, 20 time increase. Amazing. And I'm not against it. We shouldn't be envious by saying, oh my god, it's all evil. No, they are Malaysian companies and we should celebrate. But in a context of responsible capitalism, in any country, even developed countries have done it. In the UK, they're talking about wealth tax, right? And they also have their own form of, many forms of capital gains tax, inheritance tax, blah, blah, blah. Malaysia, even when we discuss about windfall tax, and windfall tax, not that we're going to take away all your money, times 20. It's just a portion.
Yeah.
And that will go to government to deal with COVID relief measures so that the economy can open up and you can thrive again, right? So it's just that it's basic responsibility. But then even those in government and opposition at first, this is really bad, they will run away from Malaysia. I'm like, where are they going to go? Malaysia provides the cheapest labour, subsidised electricity and gas. Cost of living is ridiculously low, especially when it comes to cheap labour.
Yeah.
They love cheap labour. It's an addiction for these companies, right? And exploit it. And yet suddenly we're so scared because suddenly maybe out of 100 billion, now they will only get 99 billion. Oh, pity them. I mean, seriously, right? So on this measure, I actually think there must be more moral courage from lawmakers via bipartisanship to champion it. Because if not, you want to talk about increasing minimum wage, man, you'll hear the same 101 excuses. the person who recently won the Nobel laureate has successfully proven that an increase in minimum wage doesn't hurt locals, doesn't hurt the ability of them to get a job, doesn't hurt the job market. If anything, it helps. Because when there's greater circulation of money, not centralized in the hands of the few, that's when small, medium enterprises grow, businesses grow, because purchasing power gets better. It's a very simple concept. You give money to the poor and the middle class, they're more likely to spend in the country than those who are rich will save it or put in an offshore account. You saw the Pandora Papers, billions going missing. I mean, seriously. So all of this is based on public policy reforms and the demand and the political will to overhaul Malaysia instead of making cosmetic changes when there's a change in government.
Sounds to us we have a lot of politics to overhaul. Politics, lawmaker to overhaul.
Policies.
Sorry, policies.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we have some time, man.